Rangel would enable citizens who fail to pay taxes on time to do so with no additional fees because Charlie Rangel did not pay any additional fees.
Congressman Carter joins us today with more on this controversial proposal. Good morning to you, Congressman.
Good morning.
I don't know what's so controversial about it, quite frankly. I mean, if politicians don't have to pay taxes and they don't have to pay penalties, why the heck should we?
That's right, equal protection under the law. That's what it's all about. You know, they don't pay taxes, then other people shouldn't have to pay taxes.
Okay, now what is it about Charlie Rangel's tax situation that's got you hot under the collar? Is it the fact that for years he had that place down in the Dominican Republic and never declared the income from the rental property, or that he paid the taxes and didn't pay penalties, or what is it, Congressman?
Well, you know, he came before the House and told us that he hadn't paid taxes for 10 years on the rental property down in the Dominican Republic.
He forgot.
Said he would pay.
He forgot.
And he was right.
Forget.
Sure, they forgot. Well, tell the ordinary taxpayer about that, you know. But anyway, he paid his taxes, he told us, and he said he'd pay penalties and interest if they were assessed. They don't seem to have ever been assessed. And it seems to me that if special treatment is going to be given to an elected official, then that same treatment should be at least optional to the taxpayer. So my bill says basically, if you owe taxes and you pay them, you can write Rangel rule at the bottom of your return, and you won't have to pay interest and penalties.
Congressman, you talk about the everyday taxpayer. If the everyday taxpayer, like Tom Daschle, didn't pay $128,000, what would happen to them? I mean, we know he's paid interest, but there'd be something else included, penalties, right? And that's what he's not paying?
Absolutely. And in all seriousness, the penalties sometimes are so fierce they're worse than anything. I used to practice law in a small town where you dealt with all kinds of things, and we dealt with people that had got behind in their taxes and had to pay, made mistakes, and sometimes the penalty was worse than the tax bill that was owed.
Right, and Congressman, I mean, that's the whole idea of penalties in society. The reason we have them is that so people obey the laws. So I guess my question to you is this. Instead of all of us getting the tax break, which would be wonderful, shouldn't we just be more strict with the politicians who aren't paying their taxes?
Well, actually, you know, this also puts sunlight on an issue that is an issue we ought to be concerned about. We should be concerned when any time an elected official who only has his job because the people gave it to him, that he gets some kind of special treatment over other people. That's just not right, you know?
Congressman, do you think these guys cheated on their taxes, or they just forgot? They just messed up?
You know, that's between them and the IRS, and that's the IRS's job to find out. If they cheated, there are penalties, and if they were intentionally doing some things, you know, there are people who are spending time in jail right now for those kind of issues.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that
that's to be investigated by the people who are in the business of
the Treasury Secretary, Tim Geithner, is going to be investigating himself then, because he's in charge of the IRS. So there you have it.
Well, and that's something we ought to think about.
Yeah, no kidding.
They didn't think about it. They confirmed him. All right, Congressman John Carter, Republican from Texas. I like your idea. I'm not sure it's going to fly with the rest of the American public.
You can still write Rangel rule. Write Rangel rule.
You gave me a laugh, so thank you very much.
Rangel rule.
Rangel rule, guys.
All right.
Just right at the bottom there. Just keep that in mind.